the first thing that I'm starting with today is going to be skincare. I bought all of my skincare from Korea, and my process is pretty simple. I just put this serum spray in the morning, first thing, and then right after that, I'm going to put some moisturizer. The one that I'm using, it's really hard to see, but it's by S Nature, and it's called Aqua Squalane. So I put this hydrating cream on my face. And then I finish it off with this Beauty of Joseon eye cream that mom gave me. I'm not a big fan of this brand, but my mom gifted it to me, so I've been using it pretty regularly. And then I'm puffy this morning, so I'm doing a little bit of gua sha. Fun fact, I did go to a dermatologist in Korea, and she told me that any pulling of the skin, especially gua sha, wasn't great, so I only do it sparingly when I'm puffy in the mornings. Last night, I had two girls over for a wine night and I made a gigantic cheese board. I was able to put all of the food away, but I had some things lingering on the table, and I'm going to spend this morning doing a tiny bit of cleaning, putting wine bottles away, and making sure that the kitchen is all fresh for me to have my day ready to go. It's a really busy week for me because I have a friend that's visiting from the US, and I am also going to a trip to Croatia with her. So I first need to make sure that I'm doing all the things to get ready for the trip and for her. So I'm going to be running a little bit of laundry to wash all of her bedding so that she can stay in my guest room. So, one of the first things I'm going to do before I do anything else is to make myself a glass of iced matcha. I just got back from staying with my mom in Oregon. I was there for about a month and a half, making sure that I was sorting out my visa issues. And now that I'm back, I'd love to get back into a routine of making matcha, and I have all of my tools here. So, really excited to make this more regularly. In my last video, I did have a full recipe of how I like to make my matcha. It's not traditional, but it's tasty. It's the way that I like it. So please watch that video if you'd like to find my matcha recipe. I've also never really been a huge caffeine drinker, coffee drinker, and I recently got into matcha a few years ago, but there's something about the routine of making the matcha that's really comforting, and it definitely feels grounding, even though it's not the caffeine that I want to rely on. I'm finding myself relying a little bit on that nice routine of making sure that I'm making myself a little drink and enjoying it for my morning. And this is the moment of truth, how green my matcha becomes when we pour in the powder. And that's looking really beautiful. I love it. And now that everything is set, it's time to do a little bit of journaling. There's a ton on my mind. I was stressed out about gathering everything for my visa, so I went back to the US to make sure I got all my paperwork. But during my time there, I found out that I needed to get surgery on my stomach, and all of my things, my home is in Spain. So I was feeling really conflicted on what to do. Do I come back? Do I stay over there? I also had my visitor who had already booked flights. So I at this current moment, I'm not quite sure what to do about my surgery. I know that it's urgent. I know that I should be getting care soon, but it's really difficult when your life is spread across different countries to decide. And there are a lot of logistics to navigate as well. So I spent this morning making sure to reflect on how I feel, what the best decisions are, pros and cons of staying in Spain for surgery, going back to the US once again, or to maybe go back to Korea where it might be cheaper to get that surgery done. So a lot of pondering and some stress, of course. So I am feeling pretty stressed right now. I thought I knew what I was going to do and what the best choice was, but the tickets to Oregon were $800, and just thinking about the wait times for my surgery, I am not quite sure if going to Oregon is the right move. It's actually half the price to fly to Korea, and I know for a fact that it would be much quicker. It's just that I'm not familiar with the Korean insurance system, so I would need to buy insurance there. I don't know how much it would be covered, and so yep, it's a little bit tricky. The other thing is in Korea they focus a lot on cosmetics, and so they focus on just making one incision on your stomach, on your belly button, instead of 3 or 4. In Oregon, I believe that because surgery is so high in demand right now, I would just need to go with the most common one, which is making multiple incisions. So I know it's something I need to do, and I know the scars are pretty tiny, but they are going to be there for the rest of my life. So if possible, I do think it would be worth just getting a tiny one in my belly button if possible. And so yeah, I'm just trying to weigh the pros and cons, and it's kind of leaving me in indecision mode. So I'm just going to do something else for now and come back to this later when everyone in the US is awake and I can call my mom and think about what the best choice is for me. Transitioning into something a little bit more fun, I want to pick out my outfits for Croatia. I did some shopping when I was in Oregon and bought all these really cute summer pieces, so I'm excited to bust them out on my trip to Croatia. I did a little try on with shorts, different top combos, mostly sticking to neutrals and black and whites. I feel like I just got back from Oregon and was unpacking my life, and it feels a little bit silly to be packing again, but I am really excited for this Croatia trip because my goal was to get to 30 countries before I turned 30, and Croatia is going to be my 30th country. So I'm really stoked about this trip and also very proud of myself. I know there's a lot going on with my visa and my health, but to be able to squeeze this in and prioritize this for myself feels really awesome and feels like an act of self-love amidst all of the things that are going on. Sunday routine items are all completed. I made myself this delicious dinner before doing a little bit of skincare after everything, so I was ready to fully wind down, but I will admit that when I went to bed it was extremely difficult to fall asleep because of all the stress from my surgery planning, and I did have a tiny little breakdown before going to bed, so you can see me here teary-eyed, about to rant about the whole situation. But yeah, it was a good day, but I had my low moments at the end, so I wanted to make sure to give you a holistic view of my actual day. Well, thanks for being productive with me today, and hopefully in the next videos I can share some updates of how my surgery went on a more positive note.